What could I say?
I hope that wasn't a margin call.
If it had been, I would have said the same thing.
So when did you start thinking about business? You mentioned as an undergraduate, you had some friends who were doing some business in Columbia.
Well, I met I made friends at MIT with two Columbian boys, and they, at a certain point, started a business, and in fact, it was at my encouragement that they started that business, and my father and I invested a small amount in that business, which turned out eventually to be a big success.
So what possessed you to think about that? I mean, that takes a certain amount of initiative to actually
Well, what possessed me to think about that particular investment was that I had, when we graduated MIT, three of us, one of whom was the Colombian boy, and his friend was in Bogota. The three of us rode motor scooters from Cambridge to Bogota. Now, we'd expected to go all the way to Buenos Aires, but by the time we got to Bogota, we were exhausted. So we stopped in Bogota, and I stayed there a week or so, and I saw this country, Colombia, and it was really a place that you could do anything. I was told if you start a business, a manufacturing business, and you're making something that was previously imported to Colombia, the government would shut off those imports and give you clear road to run. So I thought my friends should start some kind of business like that, which they did. But that was my first interaction with money was when I was a first year, well, it was a second year, I went out to Berkeley to finish my PhD. I spent 2 years there. In the first year, early on, I got married. And I got $5,000 worth of wedding gifts. So my wife and I decided, but she was willing, that we should invest this. And I had a couple of stocks, which for no good reason I thought might do well. And so I opened an account in San Francisco with Merrill Lynch. I bought these two stocks. I went home. And for months, they did absolutely nothing. So they didn't go down, they didn't go up. So I went back and I said, do you have anything that's a little more exciting? And he said, yes. He said, you should buy soybeans. Merrill Lynch thinks that they're $2.50 now, they're going to go up to $3.50. I said, what are you talking about? Soybeans. I knew about stocks, I didn't know about soybeans. He says, yes, you could buy a contract that's 5,000 bushels, you could buy 2 contracts, you get a lot of leverage, and so on. All right. So I bought 2 contracts of soybeans. And within a week, it had gone up quite a lot. And I'd made several $1,000s, maybe 2 or 3. Now that was exciting. And I came back to the math department and I said to one of the older guys, I told him what happened. He said, and I said, do you have any idea what I should do? He said, absolutely, sell it immediately. Which was extremely good advice because within a day or 2, it had gone back down. And it was bouncing around and actually had a little loss. I closed out the position, and then I thought, well, I should have taken a smaller position, and then I could have held it more. And I did. I bought 1 contract of soybeans and was going back and forth early in the morning to watch the opening in Chicago because it was early in the morning in San Francisco when Chicago opened to trade these things. And I was going back and forth across the Bay Bridge watching the board. And I had a little profit at a certain point, and I realized I am either going to trade soybeans or write a thesis. I was in the middle of starting to write a thesis, and I could see I can't do both at the same time. So I sold that one contract for, I think, a very small profit. And that was the last time I traded anything for a number of years. But I did write a thesis and got a job here at MIT as a result.
So just for clarification, your first investment was a couple of stocks, and then the second investment was soybean futures contracts.
Yeah.
And these contracts, as I recall, are leveraged, like 25 or 50 to 1. Is that right?
It's very highly leveraged. I don't know.
High octane kind of investment.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And your broker felt that you were a suitable investor for that as a graduate student.
Well, he didn't ask any questions.
Oh, great. Yeah.
He was just doing his job.
Yeah.
I came in, I had enough money to buy this stuff, so he figured it was all okay.
Yeah.